Hi, my name is Heather Elliott, and I am going to be telling a personal story called To Puppy or Not To Puppy. This story actually does start back 8.5 years ago when I got my first puppy ever of my own, and his name is Bowser. We adopted him just because I wanted to have a puppy, and I went to the store just to look and ended up falling in love with him. My sister wanted his brother, of course, and it was my decision, so we ended up with Bowser. And Bowser is a terrier, and he is extremely protective because it has just been me and him for many, many, many years. When my husband came along, at that time as my boyfriend, about 4 years ago, Bowser took a little while to warm up to him, and he had issues with my husband as far as anytime my husband got near me because he was trying to protect me, but he finally warmed up to him, and now he almost loves my husband more than he loves me. My husband and I have been married for 2.5 years. And my husband has been begging me for that entire time to get a new puppy. And of course, the answer is always no, because Bowser is so protective that he does not like any other dogs other than the ones that he's known his entire life. So a couple of weekends ago, my husband went to a convention in San Antonio. I don't know what it was called or what it's all about, but I know it is very nerdy in nature, even for me, who I am a nerd, but this is beyond my level. And he goes every year with a couple of his friends. And so when he goes, I usually call up my mom and ask her if she wants to come hang out for the weekend, have some girl time, spend some time with me and Bowser. And she will almost always say yes. So a couple of weekends ago, when I called her up and I asked her, she said, of course. She said, but I do have a commitment that I have on Saturday. I'm going to go help out Ben, who is the owner of a local shelter that she has adopted several dogs from. And they were having an adoption event, and so she was going to go help them out at the Petco out there near her house. And she said, you can go with me if you want. And I was like, okay, no problem, I'll go with you, mainly because I like to hold the puppies. So I told my husband I was going to go do this, and he's like, are you going to bring one home with you? And I was like, of course not, because Bowser would hate it. Why would I want to bring another dog home when he's going to hate the dog? And so I went off on my merry way to the adoption event with my mom, fully anticipating never coming home with another puppy at all. So my mom and I were there, and there were 4 smaller dogs, and as well as many, many puppies. But out of the smaller dogs, there was a 3-month-old named Oliver, and a 2-year-old named Lily, a 6-year-old dog named Peter, and a 10-year-old dog named Aureen. And these 4 dogs weren't getting quite as much attention because there was a whole bunch of little bitty baby puppies that everybody was wanting to play with. So I decided my job was going to be to hold all the little puppies and just walk around and just give them a little bit of attention and rotate them back and forth between my arms. So I started with Oliver, and of course I rotated my way through. When I got back to Oliver, he ended up in my arms for the rest of the afternoon. So what happened is he just decided to curl up and sleep in my arms, and all of the people that were working there were like, oh, that's going to be your dog. You're going to take him home. He's adopted you. You're his mom. I was like, no, he's not going home with me. Of course not, because my dog will not like it. He will get mad. He'll try to, hurt this dog. My mom was trying to convince me. Everybody was trying to convince me. And, of course, it was a very firm, solid no. So my dad, of course, decides he's going to take some pictures and send them to my husband, who then also starts pestering me, saying, you're going to bring this dog home? And I was like, no, I'm not going to bring this dog home. Why would I want to do that? So at the end of the adoption event, my mom and I brought Oliver as well as another dog back to the shelter. And Oliver, of course, decided he was still going to be sleeping in my arms. Ben, the owner, looked at me and said, that is your dog. He is going to go home with you. I was like, no, of course he's not. So Ben was like, well, why don't you take him home and try him out for a weekend? Just see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, you can bring him back to me. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Bowser wouldn't like him, it wouldn't work. My mom's like, bring him home. I'll be there with you for this weekend, and you can see how it works. And if it doesn't work, I'll bring him back. And I was like, oh, okay. So I brought him home for the weekend. I'm sure you're wondering what the result was of all of that. So if you give me just a second. I would like for you to meet Yoshi. Yoshi is previously known as Oliver Twist, and of course, as you can tell, he's been in my house now for a week. So the answer was between to puppy or not to puppy, of course to puppy. We brought him home, and if him and Bowser doesn't like him necessarily, but he doesn't hate him either. He tolerates him. And right now they're getting to be friends, so hopefully it will work out. Thank you for listening, and to my story about whether or not I was going to adopt Oliver.